Dr. Vegapunk was supposedly the greatest mind of the One Piece world, but did you know there was one thing that he was unable to create?
Was it how to prepare a successful escape plan in case of emergency?
Okay, maybe there were two things. But no, I'm talking about the remedy that heals every sickness, the Panacea. Ever since Syrup Village, we know that there is some kind of medicine that is able to heal every kind of disease, unless Usopp was lying to his mother. And us, right? I mean, in chapter 41, Usopp is telling his dying mother that there is a wonder medicine that can cure any illness. Well, his mother of course didn't believe a word and told her son to not be silly. Or did she? What is she exactly saying? Don't say such foolish things, Usopp. Your father's not coming back. So why is she saying that? Isn't it weird that she knows Usopp is never gonna come back, even though he's sailing around the East Blue for quite a while having a blast? How come he doesn't have a single minute to visit his wife and son? Like, for real? She goes on. But Usopp, I'm glad I married your father. I want you to grow up to be brave and strong, just like him. After that, Usopp interrupts her and goes on to shout about the wonder medicine. But why is she saying these things? Does she perhaps know a bit more about this world? Does she maybe know about the mission her husband and his captain are on? And if so, how does she know? Simply because Usopp told her more? Because she originally comes from a place that got into trouble with the world government? What if she even was a high-ranking official in that country, or perhaps even a royal?
Is it crazy head Ganon time again?
No, I'm just making assumptions, but you're right, this video is not about Usopp's parents anyway. I'll maybe address these thoughts in the future. But one thing is important, because Usopp interrupts his mother. She says, listen to me, if I pass on, you must... ...
You must what?
I don't know.
Huh?
Nobody knows. Either she died right then and there, or Oda might show to us in the future what she was saying. But I have an idea what it could have been. I assume it could have been something like, you must not go on telling lies like this, because one day they could become true. I do think that his mom is aware of the ability her son has. I don't think I have to explain the whole Usopp lies become true trope again. There are plenty of videos out there which cover this topic. But yes, long story short, Usopp is telling us about this wonder medicine. And 101 chapters later, we learn about the Panacea. Hiruluk and Chopper are overhearing the soldiers of Drum Kingdom talking about a special mushroom. The Ishi-20, that's the doctors of Drum Island, sent the guards on a search mission to collect all kinds of mushrooms. So here we go again. Usopp's supposed lie became true. Apparently, there is an all-curing remedy and it seems to be a mushroom. But how come these doctors learned about this mushroom? Maybe one of them found an old book in which the remedy was mentioned. Maybe Usopp wasn't even lying about it. What if he also once read this book and that's why he mentioned it? But this begs another question. Why would the doctors look for this all-curing remedy? If something like this existed in our world, you can bet your ass that they rather store away the knowledge about such a thing, because there is no earning money with a remedy that gets rid of all kind of illnesses. But in One Piece? Why were they looking for it? Was someone very important sick? Was it an order from the world government? Or was it simply Walpole who wanted to keep this knowledge to himself so he could earn big times? Anyway, the doctors ended up finding nothing, but the little reindeer with a blue nose did. Chopper ate the Hito Hito no Mi. A devil fruit that resembles the Amanita muscaria mushroom. This devil fruit grants the intelligence of a human and the ability to speak human languages. If the user is an animal, they retain the ability to communicate with other animals as well. But Zoans apparently must be differentiated between animal and human versions. Because here's the thing. All the animal Zoans are said to have 3 phases of transformation, whereas the human versions have more. Perhaps even unlimited transformations. Now, in chapter 149, Chess and Kuro Marimo, or rather Chess Marimo, tells Chopper, who is about to attack him, that he knows all about Zoan's 3-stage transformation types, pointing out that there is an animal, hybrid and human form. After a quick exchange of fists, he is shocked to see that Chopper has more forms. As we know, Chopper explains to him that due to his Rumble Ball, he discovered 4 more transformations, making it 7 in total. If we add his Monster Point, that makes 8. Later on, he also added Kung Fu Point, making a total of 9. Originally, he was able to access these additional stages via his Rumble Balls, as they distort the wavelengths of the transformations of the Devil Fruit. Later on, he is even able to do that without the Rumble Balls, needing only 1 for Monster Point. Isn't it kinda weird? Just Marimo is right. Normal Zoans just have 3 transformations. We saw it with Dalton, Lucci, Kaku, Kaido, and so on. But somehow, Chopper's Hito Hito no Mi has more. Maybe it helps if we look at the other human fruit users we know. There is the Hito Hito no Mi model Daibutsu, owned by Sengoku. For all we know so far, he can become a big golden Buddha, just like a statue. But that's it, that's all we know. Then there is the Hito Hito no Mi model Onyuro, which was consumed by Onimaru. The interesting thing is that Onimaru is a fox, specifically a Komagitsune, a fox with a flame-like mane and tail. So just like Chopper, Onimaru is an animal that ate a devil fruit. His fruit enables him to become a monk yokai, or a Komagitsune monk hybrid at will. Just like Chopper in his human form, he is able to speak the human language. But then of course there is Luffy and his Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. And here's the interesting part. Does Luffy even have 3 transformations like normal Zoans? We do know that he has transformations, namely all his gears.
Oi, he can become hot, fat, long, and
that's not important right now. What is important though is that Luffy didn't need any Rumble Ball to access these forms.
maybe these are just the normal transformations of his devil fruit?
What do you mean? There are clearly more than 3. His base form, Gear 2, Snake Man, Bound Man, and Gear 5.
What are you trying to say, huh?
What I am trying to say is, what if human Zoan Devilfruits have unlimited potential for transformations, and all that is needed to achieve those is the willpower and imagination of their users? Yes, think about it. Luffy keeps coming up with new transformations out of nowhere. We have not yet seen Sengoku using his powers to their full extent, but Chopper also somehow managed to draw out far more transformations than he was supposed to. At first he needed a Rumble Ball, but now he can do it without it. Chopper is the youngest of the crew. What if he was just not developed enough to truly make use of his powers? He gained control even over Monster Point after aging 2 years. This could be the result of him growing his character and determination to help his friends and become a greater person. Vegapunks said that devil fruits are the possibility for human evolution that someone had desired beforehand, and that those with powers would exist in different dimensions dreamed up by someone else before them. This basically means that devil fruit powers evolved from dreams and desires. In my mega theory, I came up with the idea that devil fruits are pure at the beginning, but take on the form of the desire of the person or being that first finds and eats it. Don't you think it's weird that all Hito Hito no Mis have additional name tags but Chopper's doesn't? Nika, Daibutsu, and Onyuro? But what about Chopper's?
That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
In the SBS of Volume 20, a reader asks Oda, what happens if a person eats a Hito Hito no Mi? And Oda answered, I suppose I should say they become human. I guess you could say that means like becoming an adult or finding your true spirit or something. So basically people will live more human-like. Well, I guess you could say that or not, basically not. Goodbye, runs away. This kinda contradicts what we know about the other Hito Hito no Mis, no? Well, maybe Onimaru's aside, but Sengoku and Luffy also ate them and they did not really become human or an adult, if you get what I mean. Oda also runs away to avoid the question, which is kinda funny. I mean, it's obvious, no? Oda knew someone caught on to him, and he tried to dodge the question as he always does when someone asks something tricky. But back to my question, what about Chopper's devil fruit? Why does it have no additional name attached to it?
Maybe because no one knew the fruit before and Chopper was the first to find it?
That's possible, and that would also support my earlier idea that there are new devil fruits which take on the form of the biggest desire of the finder. But if that were the case, Chopper's biggest desire was probably to be accepted by his family. So no, I don't think it was the fresh fruit, and there's another reason why I think it's not. As I pointed out earlier, the Ishi-20 sent out the guards of Drum Island to look for a Panacea, a mushroom that is said to cure all illnesses. And conveniently, there is a Devilfruit in the form of a mushroom on this island. So how did they know about that? I'm 100% convinced that they got the information of the mushroom out of a Devilfruit compendium or something similar, because this Hito Hito no Mi was already in the records. And this also supports the theory of other people that Blackbeard was on Drum Island because he was looking for exactly this Devilfruit. It's just more proof that its existence was already known. And therein lies the crux, and in my opinion, the possible answer to my questions earlier. Chopper's food does have another name attached to it, because he ate the Hito Hito no Mi model Panacea. In Greek mythology, Panacea, the daughter of Asclepius, the god of medicine, and Epione, the goddess of soothing pain, was the goddess of the universal remedy. That is very interesting, because we already learned from Usopp early on that there is supposed to be an all-curing medicine in the land across the ocean. The Ishi-20 and perhaps also Blackbeard were looking for this fruit. In chapter 142, the soldiers say that this mushroom can be used to prepare some sort of panacea. So if we consider that Usopp's tales often come true, and the soldiers on Drum Island had this kind of information, then this can only mean that Chopper's Devilfruit is the cure.
I think some people might claim that this is nothing new.
I give you that, but I don't think anyone has named his Devilfruit like I did. But wait, there's more. If you have seen my Munchausen video, then you know what's coming next. But if you didn't, let me sum up some things real quick. The Baron von Munchausen is a character from old German folktales. He was an old nobleman who used to tell lies about his adventures that he supposedly had. The Baron himself was a giant inspiration for Usopp, and his comrades and his tales inspired Oda for many other characters and elements of One Piece. Oda took lots of inspiration from a Hollywood movie in the 80s about Munchausen, but he 100% also read all the other tales about him. As I said, I have a whole video on this topic. You should check it out. The link is in the description. Oh, and while you're at it, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I create these videos besides working full time, and it really means a lot to me when I see that people enjoy them and share their opinions in the comments. But back to the Panacea. Because there's one story of Munchausen in particular that I'm certain Oda took great liking to. It's about the Baron who was on a hunt. After hunting for a while, he ran out of bullets. At the moment he noticed there was no more ammunition, a magnificent deer with huge antlers stepped out of the woods. Munchausen searched his pockets for bullets but found only cherry stones from when he ate cherries the other day. So he put those into the rifle and shot at the deer. The stones hit the poor animal right in the head. After stumbling around for a while, it came back to its senses and ran away. 2 years later, Munchausen returned to the forest and saw the deer again, with a beautiful cherry tree growing out of his head, and the tree and its antlers carried pretty cherry blossoms to his surprise.
Oh mon dieu!
Yes, mon dieu. I guess you guys see where we are going now. Remember how Dr. Hirolok told Chopper about the cherry blossom that saved the life of a great robber in a land far away in the west? As we know, Hirolok was talking about himself. He spoke about how the robber had a grave heart disease, and all the money he had used to visit doctors didn't help. All those doctors told him his illness was incurable. That's when he climbed a mountain and saw the prettiest cherry blossoms ever. To his surprise, the next time he visited a doctor, he was told that his body was completely healthy. The sheer astonishment triggered some natural mechanisms in his body. Hirolok called it a miracle. In One Piece, pure emotions can trigger all kinds of wonders. We saw how Denjiro's hair color and face changed completely out of pure grudge against Orochi. Luffy and Bonnie both accessed the form of Nika because they entered the emotion of feeling completely free. Big Mom's powers possibly quadruple when she enters the emotion of grief, and so on. Emotions are a very important element in the world of One Piece. They are so strong at times that they even hit us readers.
What has Shushu ever done wrong? There.
There will be a moment in the future where someone very dear to Chopper will be in mortal danger due to an incurable disease.
Luffy?
And Chopper will not be able to come up with any cure. He will remember Hero Look and worry because he doesn't want to lose this person.
It is going to be Luffy, right?
Chopper will fight on, try everything, crying and pleading to everyone around him that he needs more time to...
Are you talking about Luffy?
God damn it, yes! It will be Luffy. I'm trying to build up a dramatic moment, you moron! Sorry about that. So, just like Roger, Luffy will face some kind of circumstance that gives him only a limited amount of time until he dies. And that is when Chopper's desire to find a cure for Luffy will trigger evolving him into his last transformation. His antlers will grow bigger and display beautiful cherry blossoms to everyone around. And he will use these cherry blossoms to create the Panacea, ultimately saving Luffy and developing a cure for every disease on the planet. Still not convinced? Let me throw some facts at you. Hero Look looks like Munchausen.
Fact!
The character that becomes a healer in Naruto is called Sakura.
Fact!
Luffy has already used up a lot of his life force and is bound to break at some point, as Ivankov pointed out.
Fact!
Roger visited cherry blossoms, I assume because he heard about Hero Look's story.
Fact!
Chopper looked way cooler before his design change.
Fact!
In many cultures, the deer is a symbol of spiritual authority and regeneration.
Fact!
In Christian imagination, the deer is a symbol of piety, devotion, and of God taking care of his children.
Fact!
And one last thing. You know, when doctors wash their hands and put on their surgical gloves, they hold up their hands before their faces, just like the Ishii 100. But do you know what this also looks like? Antlers. And the cherry blossom Jolly Roger of Hero Look is flying right above them.
Chopper.
Thank you again for watching my video, guys. I hope you had a great time and let me know what you think about the whole thing in the comments, please. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. I hope I see you next time. Bye!